Hello, receiving teachers, receiving students, and 7Es.
Hello, Miss Philly.
Thank you. You may be seated. So before I introduce the lesson for today, we will go back and make correction to the table exercise that he gave you from the previous lesson. So on the board, or the whiteboard, I have exercise 1 with the exercise that you were supposed to complete on the table. The exercise itself is for you to match this one with the letters on the number line. So from on its table, you have a number line being drawn with the letters A to F. So you are going to work on that straight after these 2 questions that I have prepared for you to do before you go on to the actual exercise. I bet the exercise have already been completed. So I will not give you time to work on the exercise. I'm just informing you that corrections will be done on this exercise. Okay, recapping question number 1. What is a percentage? What is a percentage? We should now memorize the definition of percentage. Quickly, 7Es. If you know the answer, put your hand up. It can be one word or a sentence. If you know the whole meaning, go ahead and read the meaning. Quickly. To the receiving teacher, you can do the same with your students. Choose a particular student to give the definition to the question itself on percentage. Okay, Begley.
A number out of 100.
Okay, put your hand up if you're having the same definition in your mind. Put your hand up. Okay, let's check from the screen. Okay, a percentage is a fraction written as a number of parts per 100. It's very close to what Bradley have said. So I hope those who haven't memorized the definition is on the screen. It's also inside your student workbook. Another statement for us to answer. Percentage can be written as. There are 2 possible answers that I am expecting from 7Es and also from the receiving students. You have to give your answer to your teacher. Percentage can be written as. Who can give me one? Glenda?
60/100.
60/100. Good try. If I ask you to give an example, that can be an example given as. She said 60/100. What can we call that particular equation or sum? 60/100. Alan?
60%.
60%. Good try. 60/100. You have learned 3 things: percentage, fraction, and decimal. So I am looking for 2. Percentage can be written as. One example is given as in 60/100. What can that be termed as? Nola?
Fractions and decimals.
Okay, very good. Those are the 2 answers that I am looking for. The first one, it can be written as a fraction, like what our friend have said, 60/100. And the second one, she also answered that as a decimal. And percentage itself is also counted in there. There are 3 forms that percentage can be written on or written as. Your exercise that we were to complete from your previous lesson. We will now go through the answers together. I presume you have corrected the first column. You have corrected this together with Mr. Dumo, am I right? Yes. We will now complete the rest of the table. Following your rules that you have taught on, this should be applied to this table. You are converting from fraction to decimal, decimal to percentage, or whichever way that you feel comfortable in. Okay, let's go on to the second column. We have the first column in the fraction section. It is blank. The second column is given, 0.8. Who can give me an answer to this column as a fraction? Emmanuel?
8/10.
8/10. Put your hand up if you have the same answer. Okay, let's check if I have the same answer. I have 4/5. What did we do here? We simplify. You can have 8/10, but always remember you are to cancel it down to its simplest form. So the simplest form is 4/5. We divide 8/10 by 2 to the two numbers, the denominator and the numerator. Who can give us the percentage? Clement?
80%.
Okay, how did you get 80%?
Eight into 100.
8 into 100. Do we agree? 80%. How did we get 80%? 8 into 100. Who's got another answer? When you are trying to change a number to a percentage, what do you do here? Do you divide or do you multiply? Divide or multiply, 7 is? We multiply by what? 100. So let's see if I have 80%. Okay, the second column set of numbers are already in place. Let's move on to the third one. It is given in percentage. I am looking for the fraction and also the decimal. 45% to a fraction. Evelyn? Loud and clear. Receiving students, you can also give your answers to your teacher and the teacher will write it on the chart or the board.
Nine over 20.
Come again?
9/20.
9/20. Do we all have 9/20? Yes, correct. Who can give us the answer as in decimal? Florence?
0.45.
0.45. Are we sure the answer is correct? Okay, somebody is saying no. Let's correct ourselves in the way we say the answer. Melvin? She had given us the answer as 0.45, but the answer is partly correct.
0.45.
0.45. The digit have to be said separately because we are dealing with decimals. So here I have 0.45. So our friend, correction there. You had 45, which is correct, but you got to pronounce it as 0.45. Let's move on. 13/20 as a decimal. Jubilee?
0.65.
0.65. Is it correct? Yes. How about percentage? Come on, you others. Michael.
65%.
Very good. To change the decimal into a percentage, we multiply by 100, meaning we move 2 decimal places to the right, and my answer is 65%. The last column now, it's given in decimal. We are to change that into a fraction. Make sure it's in its simplest form and also given in percentage. Tony, as a fraction, please.
16/20.
16/20. Is that in its simplest form? Put your hand up or your name if you have another answer. Sconti? We'll get answers first and see if which one is correct.
16.25.
16.25. Let's have another answer. Isaac?
16/25.
16/25. Put your hand up if you have 16/25. Okay, let's see if I have 16/25. Okay, I have 16/25. So if you have 16/25, that is correct. That's where it can be simplified to its simplest form. And the last column, 0.64 as a percentage. Win?
64%.
64%. Correct. So these are the answers to the table in exercise 1 that you were supposed to complete in your previous lesson. Do your own correction, or later I'll be collecting your books to check through the answers. Okay, the main points, I know you've gone through these points. You can convert a percentage to a fraction by writing it out of 100, then cancelling it down. Always remember to simplify your fraction if possible. Point number 2, you can convert this percentage into their decimal equivalents by dividing with 100. When we divide with 100, we are moving how many places to the left? 2 places, because there are 2 zeros in 100. Place value comes in here. Point number 3, you can convert a decimal to a percentage by multiplying with 100, because we are changing it from one form to another, which is to a percentage. Our lesson topic for today, it is still on fraction, decimal, and percentage, but we have equivalents added on to that. We are still dealing with the 3, and the same rule applies to the exercise that we are going to be doing. Learning activity 1, we are to start with the place value method, and we have 35%. We are to convert these percentages or percentage to fraction and then to decimal. You have done that from the previous exercise as correction. It should be very easy. I give you only 1 minute to get that done with You should be finished by now. I have it on the chart. 35% as a fraction. Who can give me an answer to that? As a fraction. Not to be simplified, but give it as a fraction first. Shannon? To the receiving teacher, you can also choose your student to make correction on the board.
35 or 100.
35 over 100. Put your hand up if you have the same answer. Correct? As a fraction. So we have 35 over 100. How about as in decimal? Ruti?
0.35.
0.35. Put your hand up if you have the same answer. Correct. Okay, those are the answers to that learning activity. Most of us seems to be getting the answer correct, which means we are using the rules that have been taught to us. Next one, the cancelling factor method. We are to convert this percentage to a fraction and then to a decimal. 25%. Give me 25% as in fraction. Madeline?
25 over 100.
25 over 100. To cancel it down to its simplest form, because we are dealing with cancelling factor here. C is correct, 25 over 100. What would be the simplest fraction? Ruben?
1/4.
1/4? Correct. Now, still with you, Ruben. What did you use? Which number did you use to simplify the fraction itself?
25.
25. To the numerator only or to the denominator also? Denominator. How about the numerator? What number did you use? What number did you use to simplify that big fraction there, or the percentage that was given?
5.
5. Good try. You can use 5, but you are going to keep on going and going. What would be the number that you can use to get 1/4? Glenda?
25.
25. Okay, we can use 25 to divide both the numerator and the denominator, and we will have the answer as 1/4. So that is the cancelling factor. We have 25 over 100 and 25%, like what our friend have said, given as a fraction, but we have to cancel it down to its simplest form. Finding equivalent fraction, we have also said that with our friend, what would be a number that is equivalent to 1/4? Answers are already given, it should come straight. Gallon or Cullen?
25 over 100.
25 over 100, very good. And I have it as that. How about percentage? Vaguely?
25%.
25%, very good. Okay, I have it as that. So this should have been written inside your student workbook, but I'm just going through it again with the whole class. You have an exercise for you to do using the timeline that you have on the table in front of you. It will be done as a group. The instruction is clear. Match each of the fraction, decimal and percentage To the points indicated on the number line, there is more than one answer for each point. We also have the exercise on the chart here. These are numbers that you are going to choose. Then you match them on the letters that are shown on the number line. I have 0.4, 3 eighths, 72%, 40 over 100, 66.6%, 50%, 14%, 2/3, 0.375, half, and 0.72. These are numbers that you are going to do your working out and see where do they come on the number line with the correct letter. We will do the first one as an example. 0.4 change to a fraction, then to a percentage. I have it on the screen. 0.4 as a fraction is 4/10. Why did I say it's 4/10? Who can tell us? Place value comes in here. 4/10, 4/10. Why did I say I will have 4 over 10 and not 100 or 1,000? Begley?
Because the 4 is under the tens column.
Because 4 is under the tens column, correct? Any other answers? Okay, if you have the place value chart, 4 will automatically come under the tens column. How about having another answer? Who's got another answer? How many numbers do I have after a decimal point? I'm giving you a key here now. How many numbers? Glenda?
1.
1 number after the decimal point, which means we are to write it out of 10 because I have only 1 0 in the number 10. There's only 1 number after the decimal point. If I have 2 numbers, then it will be out of 100. So we have 4/10 as a fraction. If we are to convert this into a percentage, we have 4 over 100 times what will give us a percentage? What do we multiply this with? Manuel?
25.
25. Convert this fraction to a percentage. I repeat the question again. Convert this fraction to a percentage. I have the fraction given, the multiplication operation that you are going to use, but there's a number that I need to use also. Kupa?
4%.
4%. 4%. Is it correct? What did he use here? We have 4%, but I'm still looking for another answer. Godwin?
0.4%.
0.4%. Come on, 7 we seem to be forgetting. What do we use to multiply with to get to a percentage? There's a particular number that I'm looking for. Sconti?
40%.
40% is correct. Now, what did we use? How did we get to 40%? We have to know this before we start on the actual exercise. Joshua?
10.
4 over 100 times 10. Good try. But 10 cannot get us to, or 10 is not a percentage, cannot be used to be multiplied with a fraction to get us to a percentage. Emmanuel, you correct yourself from here?
100.
100, very good. We multiply 4 over 100 times 100 over 1 because 100 is always given as for a percentage. So the answer is also given already. which is 40%. So 40% to be written as a fraction, it is 40 over 100. Okay, you have exercise 1. We will only start on this exercise for now, and then you will complete that as your homework. 0.4 now on your timeline. Where can that be located? Which of the letters? Quickly with your friends. Which letters? A, B, C, D, E, or F? Locate 40% and 40 over 100 on your timeline. Write the numbers in. Just give me the letter as the answer. I've given you the two answers, or we've come up with the two answers. Don't know?
C.
Is he correct by saying C? Yes, the answer is letter C. So next to the equal sign, you are to write 40% and also 40 over 100. So we have worked out this and this. You have the others to work out, and then you plot them on the timeline that is provided. Do it in your group. I will be collecting those to mark. Is that clear, 7 is? You have A, B, D, E, and F still yet to be completed. I will only give you a minute to just work on letter D so that I will walk around and see if you are doing the right thing. And then I will let you go to do that as your homework. End up if you are still confused on what to do. Okay, I have my number line here. %40 can be located on the number line where letter C is. So this is where you are going to plot in the numbers. I have 40%. This one is supposed to be 40%, or it's given as 0.4. And also 40 over 100. Check these other numbers here. Where do they come on the number line? You only do letter D and I will come and check. Okay, one group have finished letter D, meaning they know what to do now. Make sure later you write your names on the chart, your group names. This is the space. Okay, walking around this. Most groups have at least made an attempt to answer some of the letters with the correct figures written next to the timeline. Let's go through the correction for letter D. What would be the correct numbers that will come to letter D? Glenda, loud and clear. What are the numbers that you have worked out that will come next to letter D?
50%.
50%, is it correct? Yes, this is where D is coming out from, 50. Okay, she has given it as in percentage. Any more other numbers from the chart that will go to where 50% is? Agnes?
$50 over $100.
50 over 100. Do we have 50 over 100 on the chart? No. But it can be simplified to what fraction? 50% simplified. 50 over 100 is too big. Agnes, correct yourself.
Half.
Half, very good. 50% can be written as 1 over 2 or half. So we have answered that. If your group haven't answered this, these are the two correct figures that will come to letter D. I would like you to complete the rest for homework. And we are going to go through that in our next lesson. Maybe it's clear now to us what to do. So I would like you to complete that for homework 7Es to the receiving students. You can also complete that for homework and your teacher will correct that as a class or individually. Seven is, let's now focus on the screen and see what our summary points for today are. We shouldn't be moving around. Number 1, to change a fraction to a decimal, divide the numerator by the denominator. This is what we are doing now in the lesson and also in your previous lesson. Don't forget. Point number 2, to convert a decimal to a percentage, we must always multiply by 100. Don't forget, because we are trying to change a number to a percentage. Multiply by 100, not 10 or not 1,000. And the last point, convert a percentage to a fraction by writing it out of 100, and do make sure you simplify to its simplest form. Do not force a fraction to be simplified if it won't work out. So those are the 3 summary points that we have for today from your previous lesson, and it will still continue today and also in your lessons to come. Our key phrase for today is everyone. Okay. Fraction, decimal, and percentage equivalence. That is the key phrase for today. Your next lesson is calculating parts of quantities. You have notes prepared in your student workbook. Please do read through that and try to familiarize yourself with the activities that are being provided before our next lesson. So you need worksheets and also flex cards to the receiving teacher. These are materials that you needed for the lesson. With that, this has bring us to the end of our lesson for today. Thank you, receiving students, receiving teachers, and 7Es.